Hey everyone, just real fast, want to firstly say thank you for listening to the final episode of our Kingdom Hearts Final Mix discussion. But I also, real fast, just want to give a quick little disclaimer before we actually start the episode. There's a portion in the beginning of this podcast where Dash actually unintentionally muted himself for a fairly long amount of time. So I have just in the editing of this podcast kind of went ahead and cut out some of those, awkward silences where I would have asked him a question and he would have responded to me, or if he were to just kind of interject himself into the conversation. And there's silence right there, just in case you're wondering, like, oh man, Gavin really likes to talk and not let Dash talk. I promise you that's not what's happening. We did have pretty good conversation. I just went ahead and I guess corrected that mistake to some degree. So without further ado, enjoy this final episode. For all that it's worth, we really hope that you enjoy this one. And yeah, enjoy. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the sixth and final episode of Kingdom Hearts Final Mix. Wait, hold on. Yeah, that's right. It's been a minute. How are you doing, Dash?
Stuffy.
Yeah, we're powering through it. This is the final episode of our talk, our little discussion, your very first playthrough of Kingdom Hearts 1. All spoilers for this game are off the table.
Yeah, at least for this one. Yeah. Don't talk about the other ones, though. Not yet.
Yeah. There might be some stuff in this game that you might still have questions of that I can't really say anything about because they're not explained in this game in particular. But as far as Kingdom Hearts Final Mix goes, proper, I mean, bro, you did it.
I did, and I felt not very accomplished because I did none of the other extra stuff. I did none of the other extra stuff.
That's okay, Dash. We're going to talk about some of that extra stuff today.
Yay!
As per usual, we're going to kind of go through everything up through the end of the game. So hopefully if you're listening to this and, you haven't played Kingdom Hearts 1 before, hopefully now by this point, if you're listening to this podcast, you've now finished the game because now we are going to be talking from where we left off last time all the way to, the credits. So
yeah.
Here we go.
It's going to be a big, beefy one right now.
So, last time, we were in Traverse Town. We talked to Sid, and Sid tells us that there is a special gummy piece that we need in order to make our way back over to Hollow Bastion. He says it's found in the secret waterway over in Traverse Town. And he says that whenever he arrived there 9 years ago, he stored it there just in case he ever needed to use it.
Just why? Just why?
Yeah.
Just keep it with you. Like, keep it in a trunk like a normal person.
He's got to be extra. All right?
No kidding. Jesus.
So as soon as we arrive in the secret waterway, Kairi is seen just kind of standing over there on the rocks, staring at this mysterious mural. The mural shows a sun in the middle of a blue sky surrounded by clouds. And I actually went to Discord and was looking up just other stuff about this whole mural. I have no idea what this is really actually supposed to represent. I was really doing some digging. I was really trying to figure out what is the symbolism here. And I don't know. I think it's just supposed to be obvious day and night symbolism with this little mural. I don't know. Like I said, I tried finding something. I couldn't really find anything.
That's what I got from it, was just a day and night thing. I also didn't look that hard into it. I was just like, oh, that's cool.
I think it's just one of those things that I've always noticed as, it's in this secret passageway, and then literally once you discover this item that Sid tells you to go find, the wall changes. So I'm like, there has to be some sort of significance here, right? Yeah, I mean, we inspect the mural, the sun changes into a moon, the clouds turn into stars, and then we're rewarded with the gummy piece. with Kairi, we get this scene where just the two of them are just standing there talking to each other. And Kairi mentions the light at the end of the tunnel in reference to her grandma's story. And Sora picks up on this, and he remarks on how he's been searching for her, but she had actually been with him the whole time. You know, we had that whole scene, the Kairi's inside me scene. Giggity. So Sora says that it's time to go get Riku. It's time to go get Riku back, so that the whole trio will be together again. But then Kairi questions if things will ever be the same between them. Sora mentions how he was saved from being a Heartless, and it was the light from their connected hearts that saved him from the darkness. Therefore, Riku must be able to be saved. And then Kairi says, "Let's go!" But Sora says it'd be way too dangerous for Kairi to come. And, you know, I originally thought, like, okay, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. You know, Sora suffered the trauma of losing his friends. You know, he just doesn't want to lose them again. But then Sora says, "You'd kind of be in my way." I look at the scene now and I'm just like, damn, Sora, what, you sexist, bro? What's going on, man? But now that I also know, I just know more of Kairi and how she's used in the future. Yeah, I mean, I gotta say I'm on Sora's side with this one too. Kairi hands Sora the finished charm that we saw her making back on Destiny Islands, and says,
"It's my lucky charm. Be sure to bring it back to me."
So Sora promises that he'll bring back the charm whenever they reunite again. And this is actually where we receive the Oath Keeper Keyblade or keychain, which is a pretty nice keyblade. So right here, we actually get this little scene, and this is a Final Mix exclusive cutscene. So we never got this cutscene in America. This was exclusive to the Japanese Final Mix version of the game, up until, you know, we got the Final Mix versions on the PlayStation 3 and PS4 and stuff here in America. We see Riku walking through a black space along like a winding gray road. He's calling out to Sora and Kairi, apologizing, and he asks himself if this is the afterlife. And then he begins to glow that sort of blue hue again. And he says that he isn't ready to go until he at least gets to go see Sora and Kairi again. And then he hears a voice speaking to him, asking if he can hear them. The voice says that they'll be there soon, and then he claims to have the other Keyblade, the one that belongs to this world. Whatever that means. The voice claims that they had been trying to reach Riku, but his darkness had been pushing them away. The voice claims that Riku's heart had beat the darkness, but his body had failed. And that's why he's in this place of darkness, where, quote, hearts are gathered. The voice tells Riku that they need to be able to close the door of darkness from both sides using 2 keys and 2 hearts. And then the voice says that it must be fate that the 2 of them are here. And then Riku asks where Sora and Kairi are, and the voice claims that if Riku were to look inside of his own heart, then he would know the answer. That's that whole Final Mix exclusive cutscene. So, as you know and have already beaten the game, like, we know who this voice is that he's talking to, and this gives a pretty significant amount of context to the whole like final scene of the game. Realistically, now that I'm thinking about it now, without this scene, that final scene in the game seems a tad random. So this scene does give a little bit of context to Riku meeting with this voice. So yeah, glad we had
idea who that could possibly be.
Yeah.
No idea. Had no clue. Not a thought.
So Sid installs the new gummy piece, and now we can head back over to Hollow Bastion. But before we go to Hollow Bastion, you go to Olympus. Just kidding, you don't, because you just don't want to, I guess.
I didn't want to go back. I wanted to finish the game.
I know. So Dash did not go and play through the finale, of Olympus Coliseum. So I'm just gonna tell Dash what happens here, even though I've already talked to him a little bit about it, and we're just gonna rehash this real fast.
From the first episode. I just want to put that out there. I was totally right, and you cannot take that from me.
What did you say in the first episode?
About the mysterious man in the cave.
Yeah.
I think I was right.
We can now fight in the Pegasus Cup. It's 10 rounds with Leon and Yuffie as the final opponents in the cup. So you just fight Leon and Yuffie, which is pretty cool. Winning grants you the ability Strike Raid, which is a pretty powerful, just attack in the game. And in a scene with Hercules and Phil explains that a hero is someone with a strong heart. And if you decide to do the Pegasus Cup alone with just only Sora, you're actually rewarded with an item necessary to creating Sora's ultimate weapon. Also, you can do the Hercules Cup, which is 10 rounds, but the fourth seed, the fourth round towards the end, is a battle with Cloud. And then the final battle is against Hercules. So whenever you beat Cloud, you're actually awarded the Metal Chocobo Keyblade, which is a Final Fantasy VII theme.
Yeah, it's the bird things. It's the bird things, right?
Yeah. Yeah, chocobos are like the birds, but it's a pretty cool key. It's kind of, I don't know, it's an interesting Keyblade. I'm sure you can look it up, but it's nothing too crazy. It's just like a little homage to, I think, just Cloud's Buster Sword in Final Fantasy VII.
I'm looking it up right now. Oh, that is kind of cool. Yeah, it literally looks like Cloud's sword.
Yeah, just like in Keyblade form.
Yeah, that literally looks like Cloud's sword. That's really cool, actually.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah, we win the cup, and then we're also awarded a new shield for Goofy, just simply called Herc's Shield. So that's cool.
Yeah, I was glad to give it to him.
Yeah. So then we also win the cup, and we get the Critical Plus ability, which is a new ability that we can put on to Sora. And then with the main Olympus story completed here, because that's basically if you just want to finish the story to Olympus Coliseum, all you have to do is go do the Pegasus Cup and the Hercules Cup. So it's only 20 rounds, and they're just they're really easy, especially at the level that you are when you're ready to beat the game. So you can go beat the game now. Once these cups are completed, we get the scene where Sora explains that he finally understands what it means to be a hero, and Sora and Hercules do the Predator high five.
Yeah, just not
pretty
as
badass.
Many muscles.
Yeah, Sora's muscles are just fucking bulging. It's crazy.
I did not get that same amount of masculine energy coming from that high five, but it was close. It was close second.
In the last episode, we had the "My friends are my power" speech.
Yeah,
and I feel like if you were to have watched this scene, where Sora understands what it means to be a hero, I feel like this scene is it definitely works better played before the "My friends are my power" speech. Because whenever Sora has the "My friends are my power" speech, and then has this scene, it's kind of like, yeah, Sora, yeah. I don't know. Did you not get this when you fought Riku earlier? What the fuck, bro?
He was just it could be worse.
The chest in the room opens up, and then we are awarded the Olympia Keyblade, which is also one of the more powerful Keyblades in the game, I'm pretty sure. And so now that we've also learned the Yellow Trinity, we can now move the stone in the room. And so whenever we push that stone out of the way, it reveals the keyhole to the world. And so now we finally have sealed every keyhole except for Dash before beating the game. So
hey, I did okay.
There will be more cups here later on at the Olympus Coliseum. They're mostly just extra challenges that will get you items and abilities and stuff. The Hades Cup, for instance, it's 50 levels long. It's like a 50-level gauntlet, and there are actually a few secret bosses for only the purest of heart. In the Hades cup, Hades is actually round number 10, and after you beat him in that round, that's whenever you get Ansem's report number 8. And this is I'm pretty sure the only way to get Ansem's report number 8. So you have to do some extra stuff if you want to get that Ansem report. But yeah, me and you, we talked about this a little bit. But I'll just, we'll talk about it right now. One of those secret fights, I believe it's the Platinum Cup, if I'm not mistaken. That is, in fact, a secret boss battle with the one and only Potato Sack Man himself.
I was so right, and I don't care what you say.
Good job, Dash.
Dude, I had an Omega Brain moment when you said that to me. I was just like, I knew it all along.
So now we can actually go back to Hollow Bastion. And I mean, we could have done that before, but we went to Olympus Coliseum first. So now we're back we're back at Hollow Bastion. And Sora is asking Beast where Belle is. And then the Beast says that all of the princesses of Heart decided to stay over there at the castle for some reason. So whenever we make our way up to the library, we get the scene where Beast interacts with Belle. And Belle explains to Sora that they've been holding back the darkness so that Sora can seal the keyhole. Talking to Belle again gives you the Divine Rose keychain, which, really nice keyblade. There's a few moments just in this level, and I think we've talked about this before, but just moments in the game where whenever you want to collect an item or something, you have to talk to people multiple times. And I just hate when video games do that.
Yeah. No, I think, because I was looking up where to get the, certain stuff, and I would not have found that out if I didn't look that up from the beginning. That's ridiculous. I was just like, I hate it.
Whenever you make it back over to the room where you fought Maleficent for the first time, we can see the remaining 5 princesses standing around. Talking to them all, they all basically just tell you that Ansem was engulfed by the darkness coming out of that keyhole, and that they're going to continue to push back the darkness while you, Sora, seal the keyhole. So back inside the room where you fought Darku, there is a treasure chest that has the Keyblade Oblivion.
I remember you had to tell me about that one. I remember that. I was like, oh, that's where that is? And you're like, yeah. I was like, oh my god.
Walking through the portal, we have an encounter with a Heartless called Behemoth. Its design is reminiscent of like the behemoths found in the Final Fantasy series. And the battle is very similar to like the Cerberus battle, where you have to like jump up on the back and stuff. How did you feel about just this Behemoth battle?
It wasn't too bad. Like you said, it kind of mimicked the Cerberus battle, in a way. So I was kind of already prepared for bullshit. Right. Wasn't I texting you? I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And you're like, "Oh, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that right there. You'll see some of that later." I was like, "Wait, what?"
I'm like, that just becomes a normal enemy, I'm pretty sure, later on.
Yeah, and I'm just like, a what? A normal enemy? Like run into all the time? And you're like, yep. I'm like, no. Because I think I text you, I was like, what the fuck is this big motherfucker? I was like, his health is in the purple. I don't even know how many bars that is. Yeah. I was like, what is that?
That's the coloriest color bar I've ever seen.
Yeah, dude. But it wasn't really a hard fight. It's kind of like slow and,
Yeah, it's definitely not as hard. It's not as hard as like whenever you fight Cerberus for the first time.
Yeah, no, not even close. Especially because you got better items, better damage. You know what I mean? That stuff kind of, helps you really get through that fight. So I didn't think it was that bad. I was just kind of upset that it was in the way at the moment.
Mm-hmm. So with Behemoth defeated, Goofy says that it is now time to seal the keyhole, and then Leon can be heard outside. Like, they're just outside in the other room.
I was so suspicious of Leon.
Oh,
Dude,
just because he was there.
Yeah, I'm like, why are you here?
Yeah.
I'm like, this makes no sense. You should not be here.
Leon, Aerith, and Yuffie are here, and they say that they came to Hollow Bastion in Cid's ship, and then Aerith reveals that this is in fact their original home. So all of those Final Fantasy characters come from Hollow Bastion, essentially.
Is that canonical in Final Fantasy?
No.
Like, is that a thing?
No.
Okay.
No, that's,
I just wanted to know.
Yeah,
I was
no,
just like,
that's-
wait, is that a thing?
no, that's the Kingdom Hearts canon. That's not the Final Fantasy canon.
Ah, gotcha.
The three of them basically just explain how defeating Ansem is going to restore all of the worlds, but it also means that they're not going to be able to travel to other worlds again. And that it was the Heartless that broke through all of those walls of the world, so allowing travel between them, basically just you can't travel to other once the worlds are restored. Sorry, you can't travel to other worlds anymore. So, but I mean,
Yeah, which I found very weird because it's just like like I get it, like we needed the gummy pieces to go certain distances and stuff,
yeah.
right? But it's just like at the same time too, I'm kind of like, well, we are just flying through space, so you're saying Sora can't just travel however far he needs to go to get to these places?
So what they say here is like these worlds just had walls. Like you literally just could not get to those walls. So whenever the Heartless came, they destroyed all of the walls to the world, as well as starting like destroying the worlds themselves. So Sora is going from world to world to world because the Heartless have broken the walls and are now invading those worlds and are like destroying the world actively. So once those worlds are restored, so are their walls. So just like Sora just can't, even if he gets up close and personal to the world, he would just not be able to enter it because there's like a wall,
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just very confused about that because I was just like, it just seems like we could just fly there. I go, like, kind of like what Sora says. He's like, why can't I just fly there? He's like,
Yeah.
what's the difference?
Yeah. So Leon assures Sora that they'll never forget you, even if they never see you again. And then Sora seals the keyhole to Hollow Bastion. The princesses thank you, and then they reward you with Firaga, but they say that the darkness grows stronger in a different place. And so if we go back over there to the library, we can meet Aerith, and she actually just straight up hands us all of the remaining Ansem's reports. Well, other than 8, like I said, where you have to get Ansem's report 8 from defeating Hades in the Hades Cup.
Yeah.
But she gives you Ansem's report 2, 4, 6, and 10. But because this is Final Mix Dash, there are 3 more. The original, the base game, only had 10 Ansem's reports, but this game has 13 in total.
What, like, why, like, they released the other ones for Japan exclusively, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, like, I'm just wondering why, because that seems like I can understand maybe cutting, like, maybe the final boss, the final fight at the Coliseum. I can kind of understand that, maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like some secret bosses. That Sephiroth battle is actually available in the American version, too, like on the PS2.
Oh, okay. So, like, it just seems weird, because it seems like the Ansem reports are, like, very important information. And it's just like, why was that taken out for us? You know what I mean?
Believe me, man. So once we get to Kingdom Hearts 2, there's almost too many Final Mix things to like even count. Like there are some very crucial plot elements in Kingdom Hearts 2 that were originally only shown in the Final Mix version, like tons. And like plot exclusive, like bosses and everything. There actually is another boss in this game that you can go and fight right now, but I'm not really going to make a mention to it in case you ever do want to go back to or just go back to Kingdom Hearts and find the secret boss, but it does have some pretty solid significance to the future of the series. But it's also just a Final Mix exclusive boss. So, that stuff happens. It's less common in Kingdom Hearts 1, but, Kingdom Hearts 2 had a Final Mix version. Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep had a Final Mix version, all of which just included, scenes that were withheld from the base game until the Final Mix versions came out. It's basically what Square Enix was doing before DLC was a thing.
Interesting. Yeah.
Because DLC was not a thing on the PlayStation 2, they essentially just re-released the games just with more content.
Interesting.
And somehow that was that was profitable. I don't know. What I'm thinking is they probably wanted to make some extra sales, and they had content that they wanted to add to the game, but because downloadable content wasn't a thing yet, they basically were just oh well, we can make some money if we just make enough copies to sell to the people in Japan, and not have to pour in resources into other countries to get different languages localized and all this stuff, just to re-release the same game. I don't know. That's kind of my theory on it.
We'll never know. The world may never know.
So now it's time to embark on the toughest U.S. tugboat mission that we have seen yet. Did you ever die during any of the gummy ship missions?
Not one time. Actually, you know what? No, I did. I did die, but that was because I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at my phone because I was just I could just kind of not pay attention to this, and I will still be okay. And I did not.
Yeah. Makes sense. Checks out.
Yeah. Checks out.
So we finally make it here to the mysterious location called End of the World.
Dun dun dun. Spooky music plays in the background.
So stepping out into this weird purple void with stones and treasure chests all around you, we get this scene where Sora questions what's happening to them and this world, what's going to happen whenever they kill the Ansem and restore all of the worlds. And Goofy, always continuing to prove himself to be the smartest character in the Kingdom Hearts universe, says,
"This is a heartless world, so maybe it'll just disappear."
Huh?
But no worries. Even if this place goes poof, our hearts ain't going nowhere. I'm sure we'll find our pals again. Yep, I just know that we will.
Sora looks down at Kyrie's Lucky Charm and promises that he'll return it to Kyrie. So as you're making your way through this area, there are these moments where these purple void orbs, they suck up the whole party, and then you're thrown into a battle with some Heartless. These just from my perspective, looking at these orbs, they kind of resemble a little bit to me sort of the nature of the sort of black and red void that sucked up Destiny Islands at the very beginning of the game.
Interesting.
These battles are mostly random, but there are some scripted ones, some of the chests will throw you into a battle. But I think this is one of the only times, this is the only time here in the first Kingdom Hearts game where there are, maybe I don't know the coding of this too well maybe, but I'm pretty sure these are random encounters, where you literally are just walking around in a world, and then you're thrown into an entirely new battle screen. You fight some enemies, and then you're back onto the field. I think it's very interesting, that they included that gameplay mechanic here in the first Kingdom Hearts game. How did you feel about this whole little section?
I liked it. I like the design of it, and like you said, you open a chest and it throws you into a battle. So it kind of made me wary of just going around and just being oh, I'm gonna open this. I don't really care about what I'm doing here. You know what I mean? I liked it though. I liked how it just kind of threw you into other stuff. It kind of broke up I don't want to say the mundane I don't even think that's the right word, but just like when you get into this repetitive of, oh, I walk into a room and there's Heartless, beat the Heartless, go do the thing. Like, it kind of broke it up for me, and I was just like, oh, okay, you've gained my attention back again, if that makes any sense.
So once you kind of make it through this area, you're then thrown into a new area inside of this like sort of bizarre chasm with platforms all around you. But there are some really cool items in this room, like chess synthesis materials. There's a whole new staff that you can find for Donald. It's like a really fucking cool wand. I don't know how much exploring you did in this little area, if you just went straight to that vortex that was on the ground.
I did a little bit, not too much, because it was a work night and it was getting late.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, okay, I need to finish this game.
Gotta beat the game. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, gotta beat the game. Gavin's gonna yell at me if I show up tomorrow. The game's not beaten.
You know it.
Yeah.
Anyways, there's this glowing vortex on the ground. You step through it, and then you're transported to all these platforms with pillars of light in the middle of them. And as you go from platform to platform, you'll revisit all the locations, or a bunch of them from all of these worlds that you visited, where you fight a bunch of Heartless, except for the 100-acre wood. This place is basically just like a safe haven where you can save the game, and you even get a mega elixir.
Yeah, I was like, what's the trope? Why am I getting a save point? Why is there healing items here? Oh no, there's a boss.
Yeah. Cool little area. The last little orange fire-like pillar, it takes you to this room where you see a big Heartless emblem on the wall, and then you fight a few invisible Heartless, and then also there's this corridor, and like in this corridor there's this laboratory with lots of like technology going on, and there are all these pod-like things with like piping connecting it to this large blue object above them, and whenever you inspect the terminal, you get this message:
Ones born of the heart and darkness, devoid of hearts, ravage all worlds and bring desolation. Seize all hearts and consummate the great heart. All hearts to be one. One heart to encompass all. Realize the destiny, the realm of Kingdom Hearts. The great darkness sealed within the great heart. Progeny of darkness, come back to the eternal darkness. For the heart of light shall unseal the path. 7 hearts, 1 keyhole, 1 key to the door of darkness, tied by 2 keys. The door to darkness to seal the light. None shall pass but shadows, returning to the darkness. Ones born of the heart and darkness hunger for every heart until the door opens.
So that's what that says.
That's what that does right
Yeah.
there.
just immediately for me points out pretty big to me. 7 hearts, 1 keyhole, 1 key to the door of darkness, tied by 2 keys. And if you remember back to the little conversation that Riku had with that voice, the voice is like, I've got the other key to seal the door,
Yeah.
So there are at least 2 keyblades.
And I wonder who has the other one.
But yeah, so what do you think about this whole little room? I remember I was telling you about this room, trying not to give too much detail about this little room here. But yeah, what do you think about this message and everything that we get here in this little area?
Well, it's kind of like by this point, I kind of had an idea. I think like I was hinting towards before. It's like, I wonder who could have the second Keyblade, And so like to me, I was just like, okay, so it takes, this is not something Sora can just say, hey, I'm gonna do this alone. Like no matter what's gonna happen. It's like it's almost like what is it? The nuclear codes that you need 2 keys to do anything with. Yeah. The room was just kind of ominous too. It gave me like almost not a chill. That's kind of like the wrong word because it wasn't that scary, but like that's the best word I can think of. It was just like eerie. It was just like, I don't know. I can't really find the right words to explain it. I'm having a hard time finding the right words.
No, yeah. No, I hear what you're saying. Very interesting, very cryptic, very ominous stuff. Maybe it'll come back later. Who knows?
Who knows? It looks like there's pods for other things that could be put in there. Just saying. Don't know.
We don't know. So once we leave this area, we encounter a boss fight with Chernabog from Fantasia. Once you defeat Chernabog, he gives you super glide. I was also really trying to figure out why Chernabog is just a boss battle in this game. I couldn't find anything. This all seemed incredibly random to me. And even still, I'm just like, what is the point here? Why is Chernabog in here? Like, I understand there's, like, the connection between, like, Mickey Mouse the character because of Fantasia.
Yeah.
But also, you take a look at the original story of Fantasia and, like, the original text before it was all, Disney-fied, is very religious in nature, and Chernabog is quite seriously, like, supposed to represent, like, Beelzebub. Like, he's supposed to be the devil. So I'm like, why is Chernabog in this game?
I thought Beelzebub wasn't the devil. I thought he was one of, like, the big right-hand men of the devil.
We're not trying to get into theology here, okay?
I'm just saying. You said it. I was just asking.
What I'm really just saying is this just makes no sense to me. Why, like, this, like, very demonic, like, I mean, I guess I get it just because it's so dark in nature. Like, this whole area,
the whole thing is pretty
so
eerie.
Dark.
Yeah, it's eerie. It feels unnatural, uncomfortable. So, like, it gives off, it fits, for sure.
Yeah. So once he's defeated, a hole opens up where Chernabog, like, was resting, like where he was just standing there, I guess. And you can travel deeper into this sort of, like, dungeon area. After traveling through a few rooms that, like, depict thorns and like broken architecture, you then appear in the final enemy gauntlet room. And as you're defeating enemies, pieces of this door inside start to chip apart. It's like shaped like the Heartless Emblem. How did you feel about this little enemy gauntlet room?
Kind of challenging. A little bit. It's just because it felt so relentless. So it was just like, no time to breathe, no time to, gather yourself and get better resources. You know what I mean? That's how it kind of felt to me. I didn't die here, but I did get very close a few times. But having Kira, is that what it is, right? Is that the top one? Yeah, Kiraga. Having that really, really helped. With, because I wasn't burning through items so quickly. And I think I told you this too, before I even went to really to the boss area, I loaded up on items. Because I was just like, I don't know what I'm going to be facing, but I want to have as much of whatever I can carry just along the ride with me. And, that really was kind of tough. I wasn't ready for it. I definitely was not ready for all that.
No. Yeah. No, it's rough, especially, like, on harder difficulties, dude. I remember that being challenging for me when I was a little kid. But then when I got, like, the PS3 remasters of the games, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going on proud mode, or, whatever the hardest difficulty is. I think it's proud mode in Kingdom Hearts 1. And, dude, got my ass, like, whooped many times.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, this is that was the last little thing that we're doing here until we, before we actually go and do the final boss little area proper. Now that we have officially seen pretty much all of the main Heartless that you normally come across in Kingdom Hearts 1, before we just continue, Dash, do you have a favorite Heartless in this game?
Ooh. You hit me with a question I was not ready for, you bastard.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm seriously, I think, I'm not gonna lie, I still think it's a very big tie between the Tarzan Heartless, like the monkeys,
Yeah.
And the Atlantis ones, I really like those.
The
I kinda hate
Atlantis
it.
ones.
Yeah, they were like
Like
jellyfish.
the green guys? Oh, the jellyfish guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
like the
interesting. Huh.
I like jellyfish. I think they're cool.
Okay, cool. I don't think I've ever actually known anyone to ever reference those jellyfish outside of like specifically talking about that
Atlantis.
world, like in detail, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. I would not have thought that. But yeah, no, the Power Wilds, man. Those monkey heartless. Hell yeah. I dig them.
No, they had a place in my heart right when I saw them for the first time, and I was just like, oh, this is great. I love this.
You saw them for the first time, and you said, you'll be in my heart.
Yeah, exactly. And then Phil Collins came into my room.
Oh, God. No. Stop there, Dash.
I should have just stopped at Phil Collins came.
Oh, sure. Once this doorway is opened, walking through it leads us to a room with a mega elixir and a save point. And we got that same door that Sora saw in his dream at the very start of the game. Did you catch that was like the exact same door?
I was it the exact same door? I can't tell you if I actually caught that it was the exact same door. But I was like, okay, we've seen this before.
Okay.
You know, we've seen it before, and, you know, we're referencing this for some reason, so it is important.
So now is the time to save and stock up on everything that you want to take with you, because this is the final stretch. No turning back.
Oh, man. I was terrified. I was so scared for this. I really was.
Walking up to the door. Only Sora basically just hears this voice saying to him, "Careful. This is the last haven that you'll find here. Beyond, there is no light to protect you, but don't be afraid. Your heart is the mightiest weapon of all. Remember, you are the one who will open the door to the light." And so then the door opens. And we are back on Destiny Islands. So whenever you approach the secret place, you hear the voice of the guy in the sack. What?
I don't know why. Just whenever you approach the secret place, like it just sounded really weird. I was just like, okay.
Yeah. Well, this is the dilemma that Kingdom Hearts fans have. You can't just casually just talk about the events that happen in these games without sounding like an absolute lunatic, okay?
Or pervert.
Yeah. Or a pervert, yeah. So you approach
That's who was in Under the Hood. It was Chris Hansen.
Oh, God.
You walk in and he's just like, how about you take a seat?
So you approach the secret place. And then you hear the voice of Sephiroth, you know, guy in the sack. The same thing that he basically...
It can't be him. We already fought and beat him. So, like, you know, it couldn't have been him.
Dash,
so I already deduced that.
You haven't. All right?
I after you told me, I looked it up on YouTube and I felt like I did. So I'm going to take that as partial credit.
Okay, I'll accept it. So he says pretty much the same thing that he says to you at the very beginning of the game.
There is so very much to learn. You understand so little. A meaningless effort. One who knows nothing can understand.
And everything around you starts to shift and disappear. And Sora looks out, and he sees Darku looking out at the shore. As you approach him, we hear Ansem's voice, and he starts talking about Riku and how he saw this island as a prison, and in hopes of becoming free, he turned his heart towards the darkness. And then he turns around and he reveals himself. He's actually Ansem. Whoa! And
oh my God!
Ansem claims that Riku's heart now completely belongs to darkness, and he also claims that hearts and worlds start out as darkness, and over time, the darkness inevitably swallows up the heart. And then he does the shaky hand and says, Darkness is the heart's true essence. And then Sora hits him with the, "That's not true!" and then he gives another badass monologue.
The heart may be weak. The heart may be weak. And sometimes it may even give in. It may even give in. But I've learned that deep down there's a light. Deep down that never goes out. That never gows out.
And then Ansem backs up and he says,
So you have come this far. Still you understand nothing. Every light must fade. Every heart return to dark.
And then he calls upon his guardian Heartless. And now we have our very first battle with Ansem. How do you feel? Yeah, how do you feel about this shit?
Pussy. You had to call a bodyguard for you? Fucking pansy.
Damn. Bro, you talking shit about his bodyguard?
Yeah. Fight
Dash,
this
you're
10-year-old
canceled,
kid
bro.
like a man. Fight this 10-year-old kid like a man, you coward.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, this 10-year-old also has fucking the duck and the dog, so I don't know.
I'm kinda, well, at least for this fight, yes.
But yeah, so what do you think about this sort of like, how do you feel about just kind of the design of like, I don't know, just the way Ansem fights like with the Guardian Heartless and stuff?
So I think I told you this. I kind of bullied him for a little bit. On accident. It was complete accident that he got stuck at the corner of where like the bridge is.
Yes.
On the beach. And
yes.
it was not intentional. I was just hitting him and he kind of worked himself back into that corner. And since the Heartless kind of stays out a certain range, I was kind of just in this spot where I was just doing damage and just being able to free whack the hell out of him for a while.
Hell yeah.
So actually this fight was not that bad because I kind of cheesed it on accident.
Well, at least you did it.
Yeah.
By the way, did you you want to admit to the world the items that you've been giving like Donald and Goofy and stuff? Have you not been giving him like mega elixirs and shit?
No, I haven't. I haven't given them
shit. What? I thought you were giving him like mega elixirs and shit and elixirs.
No. You want to know why?
Why?
Because Goofy takes one hit and Donald's like, "Here you go," and burns my fucking elixir. He does not deserve it.
Okay, good. I'm glad you had. Look, I'm just glad that you found out the hard way. Okay.
Yeah. Many times. I think it was during Olympus Coliseum. Like when we were going through the first round, I put like them on the gave them items, and literally Donald got hit or Goofy got hit once, and just right up to full. And I go, why? I go, at least let him get to half first. I go, it's not necessary.
Ridiculous.
It's like when you shoot somebody in a first-person shooter and you reload immediately afterwards with like 60 bullets left. You're just like, I can't use all those.
Yeah. You use one bullet in the magazine, and then as soon as you're done with that one bullet, you throw that magazine in the trash and you put a brand new one in there. That's exactly how it works.
God, it's so frustrating.
So, yeah, you got this fight with him, and then after you defeat him, he kind of flies away, and then more of the island just starts to break apart. And now is actually the best time to rearrange items and equipment if you need to, because you actually get a chance to before you like walk into that little fucking dome and fight the dark side. You have actually like a chance to rearrange all your shit. So it's probably a good idea to do that right there.
Not
because
needed.
then after that,
I came ready with all the shit that I needed. I knew I was going in final swing, so I was everything I had besides the Keyblade.
There you go.
Besides the Keyblade was the only thing that I think I changed. But other than that, I was just like, I was ready. I was like, I'm doing this how I'm doing it.
Sora jumps into the ring, and Donald and Goofy are again killed by an invisible wall. And then the dark side Heartless from Sora's dream, he appears again, and you've got another battle with it. How is this dark side battle compared to the one in the dream and the one on Destiny Islands?
I couldn't cheese him in the dome. So I actually tried. I think we talked about this too. We talked about a lot of stuff while we were gone, guys. Like, we were just kind of talking about stuff because I had questions.
Yes.
But I tried to just bully him again because, I mean, even though I cheesed it in the first fight, I just tried to just bum rush him and hope that worked. And I got my ass kicked more than once.
Hell yeah.
So this fight kind of dictates how I did the preceding, or the one after. Yeah, whatever word makes sense.
Sure.
But I just kept trying to ram my head through a brick wall, and eventually I just got lucky enough with using, some elixirs and some spells and stuff like that to kind of get through it. But it was rough for sure.
Okay. Yeah, definitely not as easy as it is the very first time, but
no,
probably also not as bad. It's not nearly as hard as what you're about to go through, because after you kill Darkseid, you now take on the harder version of Ansem and his guardian, but now you're completely alone. How is that?
Yeah, that was rough. I had to walk away.
Oh yeah.
For a little bit. It was another one of those bosses where I just had to walk away and like come back to it in like 20 minutes and just recoup. I mean, like I said, the one fight kind of gave me a proceeding to kind of slow down for a minute and just kind of see what he's gonna do. Like get some attacks in, kind of back off, and just kind of see where I could hit. And even with doing that, I still struggled a bit.
Yeah.
But I felt like it was a lot smoother of a loss, if that makes sense, than the previous fight I just did. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it just wasn't just being like, oh fuck, I just died, felt like just a dumb reason. It was like, okay, no, like I died because I forgot that he does this attack when he's winding up like this, and I just thought it was something else. I'm like, okay, now next time put that in the memory bank and let's go again. That was after the 20-minute break after I was so pissed off.
Hell yeah. Nice. So, yeah, I mean, he's got those moves. He does the thing where he turns into a big fucking bullet and they're just like zooms after you. He makes the fucking guardian dive under the ground and like you gotta like roll away, kind of like the it's kind of similar to that of the Cerberus battle. I feel like almost all of the battles kind of take some sort of inspiration from like some of those early on battles like Cerberus and stuff.
Cerberus was bullshit. That should not have been a first fucking, like, you just started the game, here's your ass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that was... there is nothing, and I think we've talked about it multiple times, nothing has yet been as frustrating as the Cerberus fight. Like...
Really?
Like,
even this fight was not as frustrating as Cerberus?
because like we've already gone how many hours into this game already at this point? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
at least like 25 hours.
Yeah, so it's like I'm like, okay, obviously I'm doing something wrong, and this is just not, this is not this kind of game, or this is not this kind of section where I can just kind of bully my way through things and just be okay. When I was doing the Cerberus fight, I had no context for anything about this game. So I was just going off of pure instinct of how I played other games.
You're like, I played games before. This should be fine.
Yeah, exactly. And I got my ass handed to me. Like, I don't think we recorded that same week. Or maybe we did, but I was playing that part like on a Monday or something like that after we recorded the very, very first episode. And I literally had to stop playing that game completely for the rest of that time until like that Wednesday. And then I finally picked it up again and then beat Cerberus after that. And that was after I looked some stuff up too. This was not nearly as frustrating as that Cerberus fight for me.
Yeah, fair enough. You finally kill him. Fuck yeah, epic Pog moment. And
oh no.
Yeah, so Ansem and his guardian, they're dead. Sora and Donald and Goofy, they're thrown into what is described by Ansem as the endless abyss, where inside lies the heart of all worlds, Kingdom Hearts. And this is the first time in the game that we're actually seeing what this Kingdom Hearts looks like, and it's a door, right? Was that kind of what you were expecting it to look like? What did you think Kingdom Hearts looked like?
What did I think Kingdom Hearts looked like?
Yeah, like did you actually whenever you were thinking of like Kingdom Hearts, did you think that it was an actual like thing? Like if you were to think like, oh, what is like maybe Kingdom Hearts actually is a thing. What did you think Kingdom Hearts was?
To be totally honest, I definitely didn't think it was a door. Okay. That did not even register. Potentially, I think maybe a lock ran by, like a keyhole ran by my mind at one point. Like,
sure,
you know what I mean? Like, I was just like, okay, the whole game is themed around this. I go, maybe that's like the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I
definitely a big thing in the first Kingdom Hearts for sure.
Yeah, but I thought it was just like. What I thought Kingdom Hearts was when they were talking about it was potentially just like maybe it was just a ball or, you know, like a container of some kind that just or
like just some sort of force, some sort of like
something that kind of light. Yeah, or like maybe I was even thinking like kind of looks like a yin and yang symbol almost. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like there's darkness
Sure.
and there's light. You know, it's like where everything is kind of like the most harmony kind of way.
Sure.
But definitely not a door.
Okay. So we see, you know, this Kingdom Hearts, and it's a huge fucking, like, you know, door. Ansem says that hearts are born in the dark depths of Kingdom Hearts, and that there isn't a single glimmer of light coming from inside of it. And we get this killer shot of this giant heartless ship with a huge fucking demon face on the front of it. And Donald and Goofy are sucked into it. And Sora starts to fall into the darkness below until he hears Riku's voice saying,
Giving up already? Giving up already? Come on, Sora. Come on, Sora. I thought you were stronger than that. I thought you were stronger than that.
Sora flies back up to the ship, Keyblade in hand, and you now square up to the final gauntlet and boss of Kingdom Hearts 1 Final Mix, Ansem, Seeker of Darkness. First of all, how do you feel about this whole fucking ship design thing?
It looked like a Yu-Gi-Oh monster. I don't know how many times I've said it. It looked like a goddamn fucking, like I tribute summon fucking 3 monsters to draw this big-ass ship. Right. You know, something that ends the game because it has a super stupid special effect.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Nice.
I was like, so I looked at it and immediately was just like, this looks like it was ripped straight out of Yu-Gi-Oh! And maybe it had some inspiration behind it. I mean, I don't know. Or
Possibly.
Maybe Magic the Gathering or anything like that. I mean, could have.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Tetsuya Nomura looks at I don't know, popular anime or card games like that, and maybe he does get some inspiration. I think I can definitely agree with you. I mean, if ever a Yu-Gi-Oh card was put out and it literally just had the fucking ship from Kingdom Hearts 1 on it, I'd say, yep, makes sense, checks out.
I'm pretty sure there is. That's why I immediately jumped to Yu-Gi-Oh. That's what I'm saying. Like, I swear to God, there's a ship card. I can't remember the name of it. I'm gonna look it up. I swear to God, there's a ship. You can keep going, but like, no, I was just like, yeah, it's a Yu-Gi-Oh monster.
I also have more questions about other designs that are not just the Yu-Gi-Oh monster. So,
I can still answer those questions.
Okay.
I just have to
so Ansem's design. First of all, super sexy. Very shirtless. By default, I'm just going to say I think he's by far the sexiest Kingdom Hearts primary antagonist. I'm just saying it. I just got to put it out there.
I have nothing to base it on, so...
I'll just give you a quick spoiler alert. This is the only time that we see one of the big bads completely shirtless.
Oh, that's sad.
I think, like I said, by default, in my mind at least, sexiest Kingdom Hearts primary antagonist. His guardian, on the other hand, is now like this huge piece of like the back of the ship. How did you feel about, I don't know, like did that do anything for you, just seeing like the guardian basically is now a part of this ship and he's fucking huge?
It was fucking wild. The whole design was just absolutely insane. I loved it. I loved everything about it. You know what I mean? I'm looking at a picture of it actually right now. I mean, it is all kinds of fucking crazy, and it's over the top. Yes. And it's like if they just pulled a fucking like Jafar or like Ursula and they just made Ansem bigger, I would have been like, this is the most lackluster fight. But they're like, no, we're gonna go big or go home, and I love it.
It's funny that you say Ursula, though, because even just with talking about Chernobog, the way that this whole boss fight is kind of structured, it's very similar to that of like the Ursula and the Chernobog fight, where it's basically you just kind of fly around and you're attacking a boss that just sits there in one place, you know?
Yeah.
But like you say, I think even though, like, if you just break it down to like its simplest form, like, you know, like that, the thing that really does save this boss and make it a very memorable fight, I think, is, like you're saying, this way fucking over-the-top design of everything. And it's just so nonsensical in the best ways.
Can you at least tell me if they keep this trend going where the boss, like the end boss fights, are just over-the-top compared to everything else in the game, in the games?
I will say yes. I will say some are like, if you're expecting them to just get like more crazy and more crazy and more crazy per series, you'll be let down every now and then. But there are some really wild final boss designs. But that's a common thing in JRPGs in general, and Square Enix is known for this sort of thing. You look at the entirety of any of the Final Fantasy games, and like, yeah, they're very fantastical, they're very, you know, over the top in some regards, but then you compare their entire respective games to the final bosses of those games, and it's just like, holy shit, it's God. You know?
Yeah.
I'm fighting an actual deity now. So anyways,
and I think it's also important to preface too is that, like, you know, even though I'm like, you know, I would love to see the bosses just get crazier and crazier. It's, if it fits, you know, the character that it's supposed to represent. You know, does that make sense? Like,
right.
Like,
yeah.
Ansem, if now seeing what his final boss fight is and what he looks like if it was anything less than that, I'd be like, yeah, it was kind of a letdown, because like he comes off as this very, very powerful person and this person that is going to wreck your shit. If he was anything else than a giant ship that was, you know, like, you know, throwing haymakers and fireballs or whatever at you, it's like,
yeah, it's like,
okay, yeah, kind of boring. But, you know, if it fits the character, I don't care if the design is simplistic, or if it, you know, maybe a letdown to some people in the Kingdom Hearts, you know, fan community. I'm just like, but does it work with their character? Like, if I think
you'll be satisfied then with a lot of the bosses in Kingdom Hearts, because I feel like, for the most part, besides maybe some that I'm not just gonna say because I don't want to spoil anything for those games, there have been times where I've figured, like really, like that's how they did the last boss for, you know, this game or this game or this game, you know. So but for the most part, like you're saying with Ansem, I think, like, even if it goes a little bit outside, like even further, you know, like I agree with what you're saying. Ansem is like a powerful dude, but like, fuck, I wasn't thinking it was demon hell spawn, like, space crazy, you know. Like, this is just wild. I love it. I think it's so cool.
I completely agree.
But yeah, also, he's got this like dual-ended Soul Eater staff. So like the Keyblade that Riku was using. Now Ansem is basically using that as his primary melee weapon. It's just like this dual-ended staff where both ends are that Keyblade. It's pretty fucking wild. And also his eyes are like completely orange. Yeah,
it was all great. I loved it.
Also, he's got these crazy black and orange leggings, accentuating his muscly legs, again solidifying his role as the sexiest Kingdom Hearts main antagonist. Like we were saying, the way this fight works is similar to like Ursula Chernobog. You're flying and you're attacking a stationary enemy. And in this fight, Ansem, he goes into like this sleep like stasis where he's covered by a heartless emblem. And Sora is thrown into all these rooms of darkness where he unlocks gradually his party members, after defeating hordes of enemies. And he also finishes each of these battles by attacking this little like stream of light just kind of floating in the air. I don't know what that's supposed to be, but in my mind, since the ship is alive, I always thought it was something like a nerve, like you were like killing nerves or something. I don't know.
That's what I was potentially running with, that it was just like nerves and like just its tendrils or whatever.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Just body part stuff that I don't understand.
Sure. So, in between these little heartless battles, Sora is thrown back to the outside of the ship where he fights, various, body parts of the ship. One including the face, which is crazy because it like bites at you and shit. And then you finish it off by destroying this like purple heart with like what looks to be, I don't know, like a skull face inside of it. It's crazy design, but that's pretty much where you stop fighting the ship, because after that Ansem then wakes up and then you fight him for the last time. So yeah, I mean, overall, how would you sort of rate this sort of fight 1 out of 10? This whole like final boss gauntlet with Ansem.
10, absolutely. Frustrating as hell, but also very interesting. And very I keep using the word engaging, but like that's just what it was, because I was just so glued to, you know what I mean? Like you have parts where you're just like, okay, like yes, I get it, like whatever. But I was just so like, oh my god, like this is fucking insane.
Damn. So 10 out of 10. So you're looking at this fight and you're like, fuck yeah, this is how you finish a game. This is how you do a final boss.
Let me specify this 10. Okay.
Okay.
It's a 10 out of 10 on how I felt while playing it, if that makes sense.
Okay. Sure.
But like the attacks and stuff, once you kind of get them down, it's not that bad. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It's not super hard. Like, I thought the second fight with Ansem or whatever it was a lot harder than this one.
Yeah.
But I mean, this ship did fuck me up quite a few times, for sure. I died quite a bit. I think like maybe 5 or 6 times, I believe.
Yes.
But I did take it slow. I think I did tell you that. Like, I took it very slow. It was very methodical. So it turned into like a, on the run that I beat him, I think I was in that fight for maybe 30 minutes, 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, took a while just because I was like, I really don't want to die here. You know what I mean? Like, I really, really want to go slow. I really want to take my time and not just die to stupid shit. And I liked it. I liked every second of it. And I was wondering if I didn't have to save Donald, but whatever.
Nice. Cool. I'm glad you liked it.
He wouldn't let me finish the fight. I just kept, I was just like, I think I got everybody I need. We can just finish this fight here. You could blow up or whatever, and, casualties happen. That's just war.
Of course.
And he was just like, hey, you have to save Donald. I was just like, fuck you.
Yeah. The ship completely explodes. But then Ansem, he survives it, and then he attempts to draw out darkness from Kingdom Hearts. The door opens up and the darkness seems to start flowing out of the door, But then Sora tells Ansem that he's wrong. And he says that he knows now that Kingdom Hearts is light. And then light bursts out of the cracks of the door. And then Ansem is completely engulfed in the light. And now he is finally defeated. Bye-bye, Ansem.
Yes. Bye-bye. Cute
So
boy.
Sora, Donald, and Goofy,
cute-ass boy.
Oh. So Sora, Donald, and Goofy, they rush over to the doors. But as they're pushing, they realize that there's just a ton of Heartless on the other side. And as Sora is struggling to push the door closed, Riku shows up on the other side, and he tells Sora to not give up. And then he helps them close the door. And multiple dark side Heartless kind of appear, just like right behind him. But just as fast as they appear, they disappear. And then the gang sees him. The man, the myth, the mouse, King Mickey.
Cease and desist.
Cease and desist. So, shining in the light on the other side is Walt Disney himself. It's crazy.
I like to think that like a weird cover of like some Disney song was being played because they still didn't give him the rights to use actual Disney properties still. You know what I mean? Like a song. Yeah. So they were playing some weird ass cover of it.
Oh, yeah. He tells Sora that there will always be a door to the light. And then Mickey turns around to thank Donald and Goofy. And as the door is closing, Riku turns to Sora and he says, "Take care of her." And then Mickey uses his own Keyblade to seal the door with Sora. And the door vanishes, revealing a long, dark road. And then Sora starts...
Oh, he said the thing!
yeah, he did. So Sora starts reminiscing on the times that he had with Riku and Kairi on Destiny Islands. And it's all sad. And he turns around and then he sees her. It's Kairi. And then Donald and Goofy, they watch as Sora runs out to her, and then we get a fucking awesome CG cutscene. And so Kairi
was not expecting that cutscene, by the way. Was not.
Oh, you didn't expect it to like switch over?
No, not at all.
Yeah, how'd you feel?
Thoroughly. I was shocked. I was just like, oh, okay, we're gonna get some creepy, dead-eyed Sora cutscene again.
Was it, in your mind, were you kind of like, shit, this is the last cutscene? Like, this has to be the last cutscene in the game?
No. I was just like, there's gotta be other stuff that's probably gonna come after, like end credit kind of stuff. I think my mind is like, I think my mind is like that just because of Marvel. It's just like, now I always stay for end credit because I'm just like, I don't know.
Well, not every video game does that sort of thing, but if you are a fan of how Marvel does it, then you'll really love Kingdom Hearts because every Kingdom Hearts game has something to look forward to at the end of the credits.
Oh yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, but what I will say is that I was like, one, I saw where all the budget went and why Sora's face looks the way it does.
Yeah.
But really, I was just like, wow. I go, this is not just a like, yay, you did it, celebrate the hero. This is like, it felt like it was like a legitimate moment. It's like we want you to absorb what we're about to show and tell you, and I love it, and we'll talk about my reaction a little more after you talk about it afterwards, because I know you're going to bring it up, so go ahead.
So, Kairi is standing on the sand, and it seems to be drifting kind of further away from the ground that Sora is standing on. As he approaches her, the ground starts to shake, and then she drifts further from him, but they're holding hands. Sora shouts out,
"Kairi, remember what you said before? I'm always with you too. I'll come back to you. I promise."
And then Kairi shouts out,
"I know you will."
When you walk away, you don't hear me say, please, oh baby, don't go. Simple and clean is the way that you're making me.
we see Kyrie's perspective as all of the worlds come back to the way that they were before they were lost to the darkness. And Kyrie's back on Destiny Islands. And she walks over there into the secret cave, and she starts to admire all of the chalk drawn on the walls. But then she starts to cry whenever she sees the drawing of Sora giving her the Pauper fruit. And then she gets down on her knees and she draws herself giving Sora a Pauper fruit as well. How did you give me a play-by-play of how you reacted to this ending when you first
was
experienced
completely fine. I watched it and I was like, that's a good game. And then I went to bed. No, that's not what happened.
Cool.
No, I was...
and then I slept and I worked for 14 hours the next day.
And then I thought about it.
Yeah.
No, I was fine for a good majority of that. I was like, okay, you corny bastards. I was like, you know, the slip of the charm in the hand after, the hands part ways, all that kind of stuff. I was like, okay, whatever. But then the theme song started playing.
Oh yeah.
And for some fucking reason, as soon as the theme song started playing, I wasn't even that emotional about Sora leaving. To be totally honest with you, was not that emotional about it. Was not that upset, and just I don't know why. Just thought about like Riku's sacrifice, all that kind of stuff. Like it kind of put a nice little bow on it, and then the theme music, and then just tears, tears.
I believe I've said this to you before, and I've probably told other people as well, but realistically, as like a little kid, because if you go back to that first episode and I was just telling you about how I was just sitting there just listening to the menu theme song for a really long time, I think I can really confidently say that I don't believe that I would be as into Kingdom Hearts as I am. I don't know how many of the Kingdom Hearts games I would have actually finished, or even if I would have finished the first Kingdom Hearts game if it weren't for how fucking awesome the music is. And
I agree.
The Yutada Hikaru songs as well, the songs that she does for the series, just like all the vocal tracks and all that. Oh my god, dude! Like every single one of them is an absolute heater.
I agree, and that plays such a big role into immersion of games. Kind of on another side tangent here. It's just there are people out there that realize that every aspect of a video game that is made, from the design of the characters to the design of the world, to the sound effects that happen inside of that world when you're just walking around, walking on grass and gravel, that change in the textures and, hearing the crunchiness. But, like, the music is so important. And I'm going to make a weird poll. And I know we talked about this a little bit, just on a totally different thing, but the composer and the music for Godzilla played such a big role. Like, he got a lot of awards for the music that he did, and just the emotions that you could pull from that kind of stuff, like from when Godzilla rises up from the water and it plays that, the very iconic theme that we all know, you know what I mean, and hearing the boom and the steps, but then when he dies in Godzilla vs. Destroya, it's this very soft, like, angelic symphony being like, wow, he was a monster destroying this place, but I feel completely awful that this is happening. And
just wait, real fast, just for some quick context, Dash is a big Godzilla fan. This is more so. This is just a conversation between Dash and I right now, because like me and him have talked about this. Dash is a big time Godzilla fan. So in case y'all are wondering, like, why the fuck is he bringing up Godzilla and Kingdom Hearts? I hear exactly what you're saying.
I'm just trying to like compare the music to something that I know very well.
Right.
And that's exactly how it made me feel. It's like I didn't really feel anything for the character themselves. I was just, I felt like, nothing happened necessarily to Sora. I mean, he kind of grew up. That's kind of what happened. He became a man. Should have been pounding some other fruit. But he, with the song just in the background and me kind of singing along to it because I know the words, even though I've never played this series before.
Yeah.
It struck a chord that I was just like, you have gained a fan for that alone, and now I am itching to play other games because I want to hear more. I want to see more now. I want to see what you can bring to the table. How are you going to make it better?
You're just like, oh, wait, I do care about these characters? Wait, what? Wait, what? The song alone just made me care about these characters?
Donald.
Except for Donald, yeah.
Yeah, when they flash by Donald and like the cutscene, like not the cutscene, but like the flash, like the credits scene, or whatever, like whatever it was, my tears immediately dried up, and I was like, "Fuck this guy."
They got sucked back into your eyes, like in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
And then cartoonishly cried when Goofy was on the screen.
Yeah. Whenever Simple and Clean makes you feel feelings for Goofy.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm glad. Thank you for sharing that, man. Basically, the first set of credits they start playing, and as they're just kind of going along, it's basically just screenshots of this whole adventure. And I think that probably plays a part too, just because once that scene ends, she draws herself giving Sora the Paopu fruit. The song is still playing, but now, like you're saying, you're thinking about Riku's sacrifice and stuff, and even the credits right here, they're showing you footage of like this was the journey that you just went on. Like maybe it felt like it was a long time, maybe it felt like it went by like just in a couple of hours or whatever. But it was a really lengthy journey, for Sora and all these other characters and stuff, and we're getting this song playing in the background, and you're like, man, what a good little tale. What a good little tale that was, which is why I say too, I'm like, there's definitely so much that you could build off of this game, like to put in a sequel. But at the same time, if there was never another Kingdom Hearts game after this, I still think that this game would continually, just be like one of my favorite games of all time.
It's a very popular series. We know that, obviously, because they keep making games and their sales do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they don't stop making them.
Yeah, but if it did end, it would have been like, a cult classic kind of, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it would have
like
been...
the Shadow of the Colossus,
Yeah, exactly.
Those standalone titles that people always remember from the PlayStation 2 era,
Yeah, exactly. It would have been one of those that everybody talks about, like, and ranks to. I'm pretty sure people still do that now. Like, they still rank other games, like, games that come out now. Like, is it as good, or is it reaching where I felt when I played this? Mm-hmm. And that speaks volumes, dude. I love it. I loved it.
Yeah. After we get that first set of credits roll out, the next set of credits they play, but this time they're showing scenes of what is sort of happening on the other worlds now that everything is back to normal. One scene, for instance, it shows Cloud arriving in the library of Hollow Bastion with all of the other, Final Fantasy gang, and he has this brief little reunion with Aerith. None of them, none of these little videos have words or anything. You're just kind of seeing little interactions between people. And then another one shows Tidus and Waka and Selphie racing on the shore of Destiny Island. And then the last one shows all of the princesses of Heart doing all of their respective bows. And that's pretty much it for just the credits alone. But we do have a little post-credit scene, and this was right before we started recording. I just finished up sort of typing out my notes for this little area. But yeah, Sora, Donald, and Goofy, they are walking down this dirt road surrounded by, green grassy fields. And just as a note too, Donald and Goofy's outfits have changed. They're now kind of more in their like classic style of outfit, in case you want to like go back and take a look at their outfits. But anyways, Sora says,
I did not notice that.
Yeah, Sora says that their next goal now is to go find Riku and the king. And like Goofy's just like, oh, how are we going to find the key to the light? And then, they're like, oh shit, you're right. And then, just then, Pluto, last time we fucking saw Pluto was like in Traverse Town, where he curb stomps fucking Sora at the beginning of the game, and now we're seeing him again.
Should.
Yeah, and then also I agree with you. I don't think that there's really much of an explanation for this at all. But I have no idea how he's there. But he is, and he's got a letter, and it's got the king's seal on it. And as they chase after Pluto, the same text that we heard in the beginning of the game, and the same text that we, heard right before we went to go fight our final battle with Ansem, text pops up and it says, "Remember, Sora, you are the one who will open the door to the light." The end. Game over.
Gavin,
Yes.
I just had a big revelation.
What?
It's a huge revelation.
Pluto is Hoid.
Wait, what?
Is Hoid. Pluto is Hoid.
Pluto is Hoid?
Yeah.
Okay.
He does the same exact thing Hoid does. He just, wherever the king is, he just like snaps and then he could just go there.
I mean, you could argue that Sora is also Hoid.
No, Hoid's kind of cool.
Okay, then fine. Riku can be Hoid.
Nah, Hoid's still cooler than Riku.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, if I had to compare another character to Hoid, I'd probably say Goofy.
Okay, so we're talking about Stormlight Archive and fucking Cosmere stuff for.
I keep bringing up things that are not Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, literally, I'm just like, wow, the game's over, and then you're like, anyways, the Cosmere. So
aliens.
Aliens. So
yeah.
Game over, guys. We've done it. We've improper talked about from the start of Kingdom Hearts to when the credits roll of Kingdom Hearts 1. Now, I was debating on doing this for a little bit, but just real fast, Dash, I'm going to send you this on Discord right now. And for the love of God, Dash, do not read any of the fucking comments to this video.
So go down to the comments.
No, don't go down to the comments. Do not.
I'm joking. Okay.
I want to hear your live reaction as you're watching this.
I won't be able to.
We'll
hear
talk
it
about it when
because
it's over.
Doing a different setup this time. So
okay.
Do I need to hear it or can I just watch it?
Yes.
And I'll get what it.
Yes.
Okay. I am at the very beginning. 3, 2, 1, begin. Okay. Another side, another story. I still hear utter silence. No one's gonna get that joke because it's not gonna be in the podcast. Dragon Tower, the eyes will close. Yeah. We saw this already. And Sephiroth's back.
There he is. It's Sephiroth.
The man, the myth. No, that's Cloud. Probably.
You think it's that?
I mean, no, but he's blonde.
Look at his weapons.
I'm trying. It moved too fast.
You'll see him again, I imagine.
Okay. You look kind of crazy. This is a Matrix.
Can you tell what the weapons are?
They're Keyblades.
But you recognize them, right?
I can't. I can't get a good shot.
It's Oathkeeper and Oblivion.
Okay, well, the guy with the fucking... Okay, the guy with the goddamn fucking... what do you call it? The face,
bandana.
the height? Yeah, sure. He is for fucking sure that's Riku.
Why do you think that?
Because of the hair.
Okay.
The hair alone.
Interesting.
And he throws him a key... Okay, so it's fucking... Or he didn't throw him a Keyblade, but he had a Keyblade.
You don't have to worry about reading all this stuff. It's going by so fast.
Okay, so it's just everybody older. Except for Sora, for some reason. Sora's not blonde. Fucking Dark Mickey. God damn it. And why did he look like he had buck teeth, like he was missing teeth? Oh. Ah, yes. Let's have talking, but no dialogue.
That the dialogue comes after.
He looks just like... So is it Sora? What the fuck? Why does Sora always just float everywhere? Like, fucking tie yourself down at this point.
He do be flying.
Kingdom Hearts 2.5
Okay.
remix. Kingdom Hearts Final Mix. Birth of by Sleep. Oh,
No, don't watch other stuff.
Later.
Don't look at other stuff. No, don't watch it.
Why
That's
is
for
there,
way
why
later.
is my recommended there's a woman dating a furry?
Stop it. That's your recommendation. Those are your YouTube recommendations. Don't watch them. You're spoiling yourself. Just upon a first watch of that.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that? Do you think you have an idea of where
Confused.
the story might be going from that?
Well, I mean, from what I have seen before, because I'm not completely out of the loop.
Sure.
Sora doesn't necessarily get older. So I'm assuming that's either like another timeline potentially, because obviously they're wearing the black cloak just like Ansem was, and so was
Ansem was
Mickey.
not wearing a black cloak. Ansem was wearing like a brown sort of like sack cloak. The clothes that they're wearing are distinctly different from what Ansem was wearing in Kingdom Hearts 1.
Okay, fair.
Like in the very beginning.
But like I'm like just like it has to be like a secret, like a society, you know what I mean, that's built like Ansem was like the prophet kind of thing, you know what I mean, the guy that starts it, and then there's people that fall in line afterwards, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So it's like a commune of people that believe in what Ansem was saying, and the fact that it said it looks just like you stands out so much to me.
He looks just like you, yeah.
But I think that's also potentially a red herring. Like, I feel like they just cut it in a way where it says he looks like you, and then they show Sora flying through the air, so that's the connection you want to make. But I'm thinking that the connection, that the person that was sitting on the rock was actually Riku. And the person that was walking up to him was the blind person and saying he looks just like you, which makes me think it's like Riku in the dark place with Mickey, and they're kind of looking at that or something like that.
Okay. So you're thinking it's some parallel sort of universe, some sort of like
A
alternate
cult.
Okay.
There's a cult of people that worship the dark side of stuff.
Okay, interesting. So who are you thinking is the guy with the two Keyblades?
I mean, I want to say that it's Sora, but I know it's not.
Because you're claiming Sora doesn't have blonde hair.
See, now you say that, and it makes me think I'm stupid.
I'm trying to understand your reasoning for why you think that that's not Sora.
Well, I mean, I could only see his hair.
I'm not confirming it. I'm not denying it. I'm just wanting to know. I want to know your thought process into why you think this person is not Sora, possibly.
Well, to be totally honest, too, the Keyblade is not necessarily a loyal bitch. It likes to spread its legs. So, it's been used by other people before, and it didn't show him calling upon it like he was the chosen one. It's just kind of like he had it. And I'm gonna go with, I'm going off the facts that, at least from what I know, Sora's brown hair. That person had blonde hair. What I'm potentially thinking, I'm going to throw this out of left fucking field. This is going to be so far left that I'm practically in the stands when I threw this ball.
Okay.
Could it be Kairi? That'd be interesting. But you also said she was useless. So the fact that person did not look useless at all really changes that thought process for me. But
yeah,
I don't know. I can't. I can't think of another character that it could potentially be besides Cloud. But I don't know why Cloud would have a Keyblade when he traditionally has the Buster Sword. And plus, Cloud doesn't fight like that either. Cloud is a brute and will just swing at shit. He doesn't really have too much crazy finesse.
Gotcha. Okay, before we continue with that, I do have one more thing to send you. So what you just now watched was the secret movie that was, I believe, exclusive to Kingdom Hearts Final Mix.
Okay.
So what I'm sending you now is the secret movie for Kingdom Hearts 1, like the one that we just got. So it's a tad different. It shows a few more scenes.
Oh, okay.
And it shows not as many scenes. So just let me know whenever you're going to press play on it.
Okay. Another thought process. There's only been one other person that I know of right now that has been able to touch a Keyblade. Not touch, because obviously, who was it that picked it up when Sora first got to Traverse Town? But wield one and use it efficiently. So I'm thinking the way that what we saw was cut up is very misleading, because I'm thinking that the person with the 2 Keyblades is actually Riku. When we saw him with the hair down and the face and the bands or whatever on his face or whatever that is. Fucking pulling what's that guy from Mortal Kombat? I can't remember his name. That wears like the blindfold. That's what I've been looking for. Face shield. I'm gonna switch that and say that Riku's the one with the 2 Keyblades. I don't think that the guy that was blonde was actually the one down there. I could be wrong though, and just psyching myself out at this point now.
So you no longer think the blindfolded person
I
is
think
Riku?
That it's hard. Okay, so this is the one we got. Okay.
Yes. I almost kind of prefer this one a little bit because it's a little bit more ominous.
Okay, so no, I think I might have been wrong. Well, I mean, shit. Riku could have got his hair changed for all I know. Oh, well, that looked like Riku up there, though. Or maybe that's Sephiroth, I don't know.
Alright, Oathkeeper and Oblivion.
Yeah.
I can tell you're just like trying to decipher this.
I really am. Oh, now she's bangable.
Dash on.
Well, I'm still kind of confused. Because did we see one shot where I just want to double check myself real quick. So, this is what I'm talking about it being misleading as fuck, right? Mm-hmm. We want to assume that when the first Heartless pops up and this person with the hair, I'm saying that that's Riku. I'm definitely saying that that's Riku because...
With the blindfold?
With the blindfold, but I'm saying he's the one with the 2 Keyblades because we don't see... When they do that weird pan down where he's on top of the building and he raises his hands and then it looks like he put the heart around the guy on the floor. You know what I mean? But we don't see... Yeah. We don't see that shot at the same time. We don't see Riku on top of the building and the person down there.
So you think the scene is misleading?
Yes, absolutely. I think it's 2 totally different things, and
You think they're both the same person?
Yes, that's what I'm going to go with. Because his hair's also blocking his eye, so he can't tell if he's wearing an eye patch or a blindfold.
Okay.
He's a pirate now.
Yeah, he's a pirate. Yeah, Ari.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's misleading because he's also asking where's Sora, and so far there's only 3 other people that give a fuck about Sora, and that's Kairi, Goofy, and Donald, honestly. So I'm going to go with... So you think it's
Goofy?
Yes, I think that the person with the 2 Keyblades is Goofy. What I'm thinking is that it's misleading to the point where I think, because I'm looking at the video now, going frame by frame. That
you're dissecting that shit.
The hair there when he like slides the two keyblades together.
Yeah.
That's not blonde. I'm perceiving that as blonde, and I'm thinking that's actually the gray hair that we see in the very next scene, just out in the open, not covered by a hood.
Mm-hmm.
And he's wearing the same fucking thing.
One little thing that I can say, because there were some theories happening online.
Okay.
You know, just whenever this secret movie came out, more theories started to come out once people had context for the next game, Chain of Memories, right?
Yeah.
But at the time that this came out, people, even at the end of Chain of Memories, people still did not quite understand what was happening in that secret movie for Kingdom Hearts 1. So online, people just referred to the character with the two keyblades as BHK, which stands for blonde-haired kid. So oftentimes, like if you're ever going online looking at the archives of like Kingdom Hearts forums and stuff like that, people who don't know the identity of that character just address them as BHK. So I just think it's funny that you keep on like. I just think it's funny that you keep on saying like the blonde-haired kid, like the guy with the blonde hair. You know, I'm just like BHK. That takes me back.
Yeah, I mean, it just wouldn't make any kind of sense for Cloud to be wield. Like I said, there's no sense for Cloud to wield one. I'm assuming, and plus, very edgy, very dark, and oh my god,
bless you, Jesus.
Yeah, very dark, very edgy. It just seems like it's something Riku would do. I don't know. Maybe I'm just psyching myself out, but I'm thinking that both of these trailers were very misleading. And I mean, I've watched more than enough movie trailers to know that they put different scenes in different spots to make it look different. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking that's what they're doing here. I think those two scenes are completely separate from opening the heart and everything. And him standing on top of the building are like two totally different things.
Okay.
Or maybe it's a scene. Maybe it's out of order. Maybe he clings to swords. The heart starts. He beats the heartless that we saw in the original. Yeah, they're swords. They are still swords to some degree.
Sure.
Then then after he beats all of them, he's on top of the building and he's kind of standing there, just kind of like in that pose.
What do you think about those shadows coming out of the ground? Like they look definitely way more crazy.
I mean,
like
I'm gonna go with that. This was actually animated and rendered in a computer and not a box of crayons.
Yeah.
And that's why they look like that. I feel like they're kind of. I feel like this is what they were originally supposed to look like. Yeah.
You think it's the same kind of enemy? Okay.
Yeah, I feel like this is what they were like. This is what they were going for, but they were kind of limited on,
how they could just put them on the screen. I hear
yeah, because I mean, the original enemies had two little squiggly things. I mean, these aren't squiggly, but there's two like hair ear things.
Sure, they got Sonic. The yellow eyes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So. I'm glad we watched that. I'm glad we got to get your reaction to that. During the second one where we're not talking as much, I'll cut that up and stuff. But I'm glad that we got your reaction, especially for just like the first one, the final mix secret ending. What I've just decided, because we're running up on 2 hours now, and I know these have in the past been just about this long. This one can go longer, but it is 11:30 at night right now, and I know we both got to be up early tomorrow to do some work stuff. Yeah, it's getting pretty late. So Dash, whenever you're ready, man, you are free to start Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. I'm so happy that you're done with Kingdom Hearts 1 and you can actually continue this dark road to Kingdom Hearts 4. As far as Ansem's report 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13. As
We'll
far
link
as
them in the
all of
description.
those go, no, we're going to record those at a later time, and those will be on our Patreon.
Ooh.
That will be Dash is going to. I'm gonna read those out loud. We're gonna have a conversation now that he has watched the secret ending, especially those final mix reports 11, 12, and 13. Those are those might help you sort of start to maybe decipher a little bit of what's going on there in that secret movie. But I'm not going to say anything more than that. Dash and I will read those, and we'll do those at a later date, and those will be on our Patreon. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for for joining on this journey. I believe this is I guess the 7th episode in total that we've done for the Dark Road to Kingdom Hearts 4. But in 6 episodes, we got through just Kingdom Hearts 1. So in the next episode, we're gonna start Kingdom Hearts Rechain of Memories. I'm so fucking excited.
I am too, and thanks for everybody putting up with, some of our delays and
for real
stuff like that, and just coming back and always enjoying the podcast. And this is something new to me, so it's a bit rough. We're getting better as time goes on, but hopefully, you guys enjoyed it, and I'm excited for the next leg.
Yeah, the next season of the Dark Road to Kingdom Hearts 4. There might be something that happens in between that. Like I said, we're gonna do the Ansems report episode, and we'll put that up on the Patreon, as well as other stuff on the Patreon. Like I said, I've just been trying to think of other things that I can put on there to make it seem like it might be worth your investment. But of course, I mean, if it's just not something that you can swing, there is absolutely no pressure on on this end at all for you to join the Patreon. It's just if you feel the desire to monetarily support the show, but also other than this upcoming episode, there will also be all of my notes. Every piece of note that I take for these episodes, I type them up in a little notepad document, and I upload those to the Patreon. So if you're interested to see exactly what my note-taking process looks like, it's lengthy, it's tedious. So go look for yourself and tell me how I can clean it up or something. I don't know. But yeah, other than that, you can follow me on Twitter at overleveledcast. You can also send us an email. The email is overleveledpodcast@gmail.com. You can also find Dash on Twitter as well. Dash, you want to let them know where they can find you?
Twitter. I'm trying with Twitter. Instagram. I don't know. Whatever Gavin has. I'm trying to be better on social media.
You can find Dash on Discord. If you really want to get in touch with Dash and you want to talk to us, join the Discord. That's where you're really going to find us.
And if you really want to get to know me, you can get my Venmo, and we can really get to know each other.
Oh, of course.
I do things for very little money.
Oh, yeah. So, guys, again, thank you so much for joining us in this first season of the Dark Road to Kingdom Hearts 4. I am excited to see where this continues to go. I'm excited to just continue to get Dash's reactions as we continue to go through this series. There's a lot of good stuff coming, and it's a fun time. So I will see you all later. Thank you again, everyone, for listening to Season 1 of The Dark Road to Kingdom Hearts 4. I know Dash and I both had a fantastic time doing this, and we can't wait to continue in the series. I want to take this short amount of time to thank specifically our Patreons, Zachary McLeod and Matt McSwiggan. Thank you guys for your patronage. Thank you for patronizing me. It is a fantastic way to give to this show. And for everyone else out there who can't necessarily provide monetarily or who isn't subscribed to the channel or anything like that, I want to just take another moment to encourage you to leave us a 5-star review, whether that's on Apple Podcast or now you can actually do it on Spotify on the Overleveled Games page. 5-star ratings always are a good sign to other listeners that our podcast is something worth listening to. And I think even if I didn't have anybody listening to this show, this is something that I would still put in a lot of effort into just making because it's what I love to do. So again, thank you to everyone who made it this far into this episode. We will see you guys in Kingdom Hearts Re-Chain of Memories. Bye-bye.